Alright, hopefully that fixed the audio issues, even though I've already ran through a lot of the early startup checklist for FCFs. I gotta get resituated with headset. So Fox 1, can you hear me now? Alright, good. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is a functional check flight of the A-10C and DCS. I've gone through and checked all the internal lights, external lights that the APU started within parameters. The start of CDU alignment, ran the IFC bit check, with which real world it's interactive, but it's not interactive in DCS. So let's see. Alright, let me reconfigure, rearm. So basically we are going with a completely slick aircraft with no ammo, no chaff, no flare. And get my skin. So in the real A-10, there's ballasts that go in the nose of the aircraft in the nose wheel well to offset having no 30mm rounds loaded, and then there's dummy mods that go in all the chaff flare spots. I don't know how DCS actually models no ammo, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, MFCDs are good. We'll load up as soon as the ATIS pod is removed and they say everything's good. Radio checks, there's no one to check with. Let's see. Pull up the departure that I'm going to fly. I'm going to fly the Dream 4 departure.
Rearming complete.
Go over the knitter to do the various FCF checks, and then I'm going to come back ILS, the high ILS for 2-1 left. Alright, so let's 1091. Alright, so now checking ILS system. Looks like we got indication. I'll turn that off. Alright, let's see, check HARS. HARS is already there. Turn off ILS, turn on the TACAN. Well, what happened there? Right. Well, something screwy's going on every time I go and look down. And in normal DCS fashion, TACAN is not working right away. So basically, I don't know what's wrong in DCS, but once you turn the TACAN frequency, as long as you are obviously within range, you shouldn't have any issues. As you can hear, we're getting the station identifier, but not getting any indication on the HSI, so don't know what's up with that. It's been an issue for a while. Maybe they'll eventually fix it. We'll just let the TACAN go, see what happens. Alright, so let's go ahead and start up engines. We'll go ahead and motor number 1. Alright, we got indication within 10 seconds. Alright, so we're going to go over the hump and turn the motor switch back to norm, and we should have light off within 20 seconds. Light off almost instantly. ITT shouldn't go over 900 Celsius, which it didn't. Let's see, oil pressure. Oil's good. 3000 PSI on the left system. And left engine, or engine start cycle lights off. Alright, so we're going to check the gauges. Idle ITT is 275 Celsius minimum. And we're at just under 5. Core RPM's 59%. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oil pressure 40 PSI. Again, that's the minimum. We're at looks like about 56, and fuel flow is 600 max. So fuel flow is about 400. So it looks like we're good to go there. Alright, so flight controls, basically you'd run through all the flight controls. So normally go flaps to 7, flaps full down, flaps full up. You'll have a crew chief at the back of the airplane verifying that. Chief speed brakes clear. They're not going to work yet, so that's good. Right system's not up. And you're going to move your ailerons, make sure they're working. Elevators up and down. Again, crew chief's in the back verifying all this, and then your rudder. So basically you're verifying that all the primary flight controls work with just your left system. Alright, so now we're going to start up number 2. Let's go ahead and motor it first. Motor's going to take the core RPM to just under 30. Alright, going over the hump. Right, that's good. Didn't start because the boost pumps take it back to idle. Good start with left boost pumps off. Again, your left engine will start because of the APU DC fuel pump. So we'll go ahead and turn them all on now. Verify caution lights are off. Alright, let's do motor number 2 again. Alright, let's go over the hump. Back to norm, head light off. Temp's climbing, still green though. Got 3,000 PSI on the right system. Yeah, engine lights off. Alright, let's see. All the gauges look good, everything within norms. Alright, so generators are off. We're going to turn on the left generator. Okay, good. Caution light. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn the APU gen off. This is to verify that just the left generator is creating enough power to power the aircraft. Alright, good to go. No issues. Turn on the right gen. Turn off the left gen. Make sure the right gen's good. Left gen caution lights on. Good to go there. Silence that. Turn left gen back on. Alright, generator's good to go. Alright, so now we're going to do a fuel system check. So basically we're going to turn the left wing, left main off. So left main, left wing, caution lights good. Let's mute that. Alright, DC fuel pump circuit breaker. We're going to open that. So where are we at? Where are we at? Pull that. Alright, left fuel pressure is dropping like it should. Alright, so now we're going to turn off the right wing and the right main. And basically, we're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And both engines should run fine. Have no issues at idle. From basically suction feed. So let me go ahead and start that and turn both of those off. Alright, good caution lights, and now we'll kind of see what happens. New cockpit. So in 2D, although it looks good, the HUD is completely wrong. Nothing should be cut out like they've done it. In VR, it's better, but it's still not perfect. For example, about, it's kind of hard to see right now. So theoretically, about right there is where you normally would line up. Basically, when I was reserve duty last month at the beginning of January, and I was talking to our fighter squadron commander and a couple of the other pilots when I went and flew the real world sim down there. I was asking about the view of the HUD. They said on the ground you have some issue where you have to move your head to see some of the data, but once you're in the air, it's good to go. I asked about seat height, and they all pretty much said the same thing, just slight variations, but that's just due to, you know, one being 6'2" and one being 5'8", so to speak. But they all pretty much line up so that this top metal plate of the HUD, basically their eyes are right in line with it, and once airborne they can see everything, no issues. So I like it. I wish it was weathered more. I guess we're supposed to get that with DCS A-10C which cautiously optimistic about, but we'll see. There's a lot of things that was in basically Suite 3 and early 5, since we kind of have a hybrid of both, that the A-10C could do that we don't have within DCS now. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so far so good. 2 minutes, and everything is feeding. The engine's okay. So go ahead and turn the TACAN off. It finally did come on, so we'll turn it off for now. But again, that's a bug at DCS. It doesn't take time for TACAN to warm up, so to speak, like it appears to need to do in DCS. So While we're waiting, we'll go ahead and set this up. Turn the map off. Set up my net. So group 47 and I am 11. Alright, 3 minutes and engine's still going good. Basically, the next thing we're going to do is check the URASI or the air refueling system. There's not really a whole lot to do with that in DCS. So I can do that while we're waiting on this. So open the door, which the new, whereas in the old cockpit you'd click right on the handle. It's not really like that anymore. So I'll open the door. Looks like it opened fully within 30 seconds. And then basically you just close it. And yeah, looks like it closed. Good to go. So we're good on that. Alright, 1 more minute and then we'll move into the full flight control check to include manual reversion. So real world, when I was still a young airman, actually still turning a wrench, crewing jets, one of your least favorite launches, or at least was for me, was the FCF launches, because they are long and they are boring for the crew chief. Whereas a normal launch, especially C models, really can have pilot in the seat and them taxiing in less than 30 minutes. FCF, sometimes you're on the ground for a couple hours because you'll have things come up that are wrong that we'll perform red ball maintenance on. So alright, so boost pumps off, everything fed okay, so we'll go ahead and turn all them back on. And let's close the circuit breaker. Alright, so flap 7, flaps full down, flaps full up, speed brakes clear, partially open, open full, cycle them. Elevators clear, elevators up, elevators down, left up, right down, right up, left down, rudders left and right. Alright, so now we're going to do a manual reversion check. So, pull the emergency brake handle. And that's basically, well, it should have dropped the hydraulic power down. Alright, so we're going to trim ailerons full left. Alright, no more movement. Alright, let's turn on manual reversion. Alright, there goes hydraulic pressure. Alright, so now when I move the flight controls, the only thing that should move is the trim pad or trim tabs, and I'm guessing it's good because I can't see, but be able to see when I go to the external view, as long as all that works good. Let me see. We got the left and hydraulic lights on. Alright, so the left and right aileron tab light should be coming on once you go to manual reversion. They are not on. they test okay. You can see them, they're right here. So there's a bug. Theoretically, if this was a real FCF, you'd troubleshoot it and abort, but we're not going to abort for here. Elevators, moving those. Alright, move the left pedal, back to neutral, right pedal, back to neutral. Alright, so now basically moving the trim tabs with the trim hat. And again, I can't see that from here, but the crew chief real world will check that. But the trim tab should be moving. Alright, we're going to go to emergency trim. And we'll move those again. Again, they should be moving. Alright, so we're going to go flight controls back to normal. Got hydraulic pressure back. We're going to take emergency trim back to normal. And then we're going to push in the emergency handle. Alright, so let's move the flight controls. Elevator or ailerons moving alright. Looks like in the shadow you can see rudders and elevators working. And then trim should be back to normal. Alright, let's do takeoff trim. Zero everything out. Alright, so now we're going to do the pitch and roll jam isolation. So we're going to go stick full left and hit the aileron disengage. Alright. Alright, let go. Alright. Left elevator, or left aileron, I don't know why I keep saying that. Alright, let's meet that. Alright, now we're going to go stick full right. Disengage the right. Let it go. Alright, good to go. Kind of surprised that that checked good. Alright, so now we're going to check the aileron emergency disconnect switch. So basically cycle in first to make sure ailerons and everything's back connected good. Caution lights are off. Alright, so you pull stick aft, and then we're going to disengage the left elevator. Alright, caution light. Alright, that's good. Center it. Go full aft, go to the right. And cycling it, and back to normal. And alright. Alright, so we're gonna, let's see, put on the SAS switches. Alright, pitch trim compensator. So basically when speed brakes are open, the elevator moved down slightly for the pitch trim compensator. So I'm going to go ahead and pop speed brakes, and once I do the track, we'll be able to see that the elevators do move. I looked the other day in FT View and they did. So alright, we're going to pitch trim. We're going to go all the way full back on the elevators. And go all the way up. And that's one of the other nice things in the actual simulator at Moody. So the stick actually has the feedback. So when you trim, it actually stays where you trim it. It's not like what we deal with the well, whatever HOTAS you use, but I've got the Thrustmaster. Alright, so aileron, we're going to go stop to stop. So it should be 15 seconds. So let's stop this. And start moving. Alright, happened in 9 seconds, so that's good. We'll start again and go full way. It should be about 15 seconds. So let's ready and go. Now let's start that again. Alright, now we're going. Well, we'll say it's good because it was at 16 seconds and it could have been just as easily me not hitting the button to start the time just as I started doing that. So, alright, let's see. Let's go to emergency trim. Aileron emergency trim looks good. Alright, that all looks good. Alright, do takeoff trim again. And we'll do yaw trim, full left. Full right, and we'll try and zero it out. Real rotary has a detent, so you can tell when it's centered, but we're good because takeoff trim light won't come on if it's not centered. Alright, chop check. So I'm going to basically move each throttle from idle to max and back. The core RPM should not go above 70%. So let's do that real quick. Max and back. And it jumped, looks like about 72. Let's do that again. Yep. Alright, let's try the right engine. Yeah, it looks like goes to about 75 instead of 70. We already did the lasty pre-flight bit, so we won't do that again. We'll go to the stat page, although I'm pretty sure DCS isn't going to have any faults. Nope, everything is good. Alright, let's see, we're going to go standby. Do RWR bit. And Let's see, what else did it want me to do? And display bit, although it doesn't do anything. Alright, on the IFC, let's see, AGL 3000. Oh, that's not right. Do 38. And for ceiling, we're going to do 5,000. Alright, SAS is engaged. Go EAC, switch is on, caution lights off. Alright, let's kick off SAS. EAC switch goes off, caution lights come on. Re-engage SAS. EAC switch back on. Alright, CDU. Alright, so let me go in here and create a flight plan. Alright, good to go. Yeah, they shouldn't be. Alright, good to go on flight plan. Alright, so that's basically all the checks on the ground for what's applicable in DCS and what we can actually check. Do that. Do that. Give TACAN a second to decide to warm back up. And we're actually going to change TACAN to 116. And we'll go ahead and turn it off and turn it back on. Sometimes in DCS that'll get it to kind of wake up. Alright, well, while we're waiting for that, now the Cylon 1 taxiing from Golf Ramp to northeast EOR. Alright, when we first start taxiing, I'm going to tap on the brakes, make sure brakes are good, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. So we'll head on down to northeast EOR and then configure for takeoff. So taxi speed in the A-10, not supposed to exceed 20 knots. So realistically, yeah, a lot of times within DCS we'll use yardstick. That way we can maintain proper, mileage separation if we're in line, or wedge, we'll leave it on, because in DCS it's not like we have to worry about the enemy picking up our TACAN and figuring out where we're at. Here's another little quirk of DCS. So the real A10, the nose wheel is offset, it's not centerline. So like kind of right now how I've got the HUD camera on the taxiway, theoretically, real world, your nose tire is over here. So what they actually use is the caution, master caution light, and basically that's when they know that their nose is actually, or their nose tire is actually on the taxiway markings. In DCS, if you do that and you go to external view, the nose tire is actually off the line, so it's almost like they have the nose tire on the center line of the jet when obviously it's not really there. Alright, throttle back, approaching nice little Northwest EOR pad. Now let's Cylon 1 Northeast EOR. Alright, so we'll go ahead and configure flaps 7. Arm up the seat. Here's another bug. There should be a pinhole right there, because safety pins, when you safe the seat, go right there. That hole right there. And then there's one more that goes in the canopy jettison. Alright, we're going to turn that to norm, because that's where it should have been already. Turn on pitot heat. Go ahead and close the canopy. Verify takeoff trim. Check lights again. Configure external lights. Alright, altimeter should be 30032. And let's see, let's go verify. So elevation is 1857, so close enough. Alright, Dream 4. Quick look, make sure everything's good. Now let's Cylon 1 taxiing from Northeast EOR to 21 right, Dream 4 departure. Now let's Cylon 1 crossing 21 left. Now let's Cylon 1 clear 21 left. Alright, just looking through the FCF checklist to see if I missed anything. Alright, let's check instruments again. Idle, ITT, minimum 275. Core RPM's 59, pretty much spot on. Oil pressure, minimum 40 psi, good. Fan, RPM, 22% minimum. Where are we at? Good to go. Fuel flow 600 max, good to go on that. Alright, flaps set, speed brakes closed, takeoff trim's good. Oxygen regulator's good, canopy is closed. Unlock light is off. Ejection handle set, light's good. Alright, so we need to turn off all the fuel pumps again. And turn Alright, so now we're going to check each engine max power. So we're going to throttle up to max on left. Alright, ITT 865 Celsius max. Well, DCS, you can't even get to 800. So, but technically we're in the green. Core RPM's 100%. We're at, what, 92-ish? Oil pressure's 55 to 99. That's good. Fan flow, or fan RPM. Alright, so there's a bug. They should feed and be good to go with the pumps off, and obviously not. So go ahead and turn them back on. I won't even try the left engine because we know that's not going to work. Alright, so throttle up number 2. Go at about 85%. Motor number 1, cool it off. Number 1 over the hump. Back to norm, there's light off. Alright, so make a note of that not working right. Come on, let's go, number 1 engine. I really don't want to start up the APU. This may be a short FCF. Well, let's go ahead and push that back in. That shouldn't make a difference, but alrighty. Well, let's start up the APU and see if number 1 will start that way. So once we get this back up again, like I said, I'm not going to do number 2 because obviously they don't have that modeled correctly. But I will check the T5 limiter. Alright, let's go ahead and motor 1 again. Good temp. RPM's increasing. And one's over the hump. Got the light off. Yeah, she does not want to start back up. Turn the APU gen on, although that shouldn't have anything to do with it. Alright, turn number 1 back off. Nellis Tower, Cylon 1 still holding it on 2-1 right. While checking fuel pumps in suction feed at max. Number 1 shut down. Attempting to restart. So far, no good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll motor this again. Let it motor for a little bit. Fuel pumps are back on. All circuit breakers are in. We'll give it a second to motor. Alright, let's try it again. Let's go over the hump. Back to norm. Nope. Left engine does not want to light. So left engine will not light after start of fuel. APU's still good. Temps in the good at about 100%. Alright, so we'll just try one more time. Just go over the hump, not even motor it, although you wouldn't do that realistically. So we got engine start cycle lights on. RPM is climbing. Yep, she will not go over about 25% though. Alright, turn that off. Pull out the brake handle because we're going to need that. Now the Cylon 1 aborting. Taxiing off of 2-1 right at Delta. Well, so much for that. So I guess taxi back over to Gulf revetments and shut down, make some notes, and start over. Not probably not today though. Now let's Cylon 1 clear a 2-1 right at Delta. Taxiing back to Gulf revetments by Foxtrot Alpha. Alright, I'm clear. Well, at least I got that model right. Left system, you don't have nose wheel steering, but at least I had enough to get off. So I guess I'm going to shut down right here behind or in front of the Thunderbirds. Let's see. Let's try starting again. See what happens. All right, let's go ahead. Motor temps down. RPM's climbing. Ain't climbing enough though. Alright, let's take it over the hump. Back to normal. Shows light off. Will not go above about 34 RPM. Throttle is all the way at the stop. Alright, well that's enough trying of that. So now the Cylon 1 is going to shut down just north of Thunderbird ramp due to no left hydraulic system due to number 1 engine failure. Alright, so on that note, let me cycle back. So we basically got through the checklist up to step number 2 on the lineup check. So just to recap on the failure, number 1 is turn all fuel pump switches to off and pull the DC fuel pump circuit breaker. And then you check separately. I took the left engine to max, and as I was verifying max ITT of 865 Celsius, max core RPM of 100%, oil pressure between 55 and 95 psi, fan RPM of 86%, 98% max, and then fuel flow of just over 4,000. The number 1 engine shut down. So that's definitely a bug, but just for the heck of it, seeing as how I'm going to shut down anyways, we're going to try the same thing with the number 2 engine. So all the fuel pumps, DC fuel pump doesn't really matter for number 2, but we're going to pull the CB anyways. Let's apply the brakes and we'll throttle up to max and see how long it lasts. Well, ITT is good, but again, can't even get close to the max, can't even get to 800. Percentage of core RPM, 100% max, so it's good. Oil pressure is 55 to 98, or excuse me, 95. It looks like we were right at 95, and the engine shuts itself down. So yeah, as you can see, bug on that one. So through lineup check, step number 2, and then ground aborting due to that bug. I will pick back up on item number 3 of the lineup check, the T5 limiter, next time. So I'll basically simulate that I did everything to this point. So I can't see who's still watching, but whoever is, thank you, and I will hopefully be able to do this not this coming weekend because it's drill weekend, but the weekend after. So hope everyone has a good day.